Good morning, everyone! I forgot to do a thing. 1 second. Because we do need to see Dean's smiling face. Oh. Now, music's not too loud for everyone, I hope. But yeah, good morning, everyone. I'm exceptionally tired. Oh dear God, so damn tired. Because usually before this stream, I try to get to bed by about midnight at the latest, but between Baldur's Gate 3 and all the other news, I didn't get to bed till like 2 a.m. That's my fault, mind you, but I did want to get that stuff done, and there's a lot of hype and excitement going on at the moment. However, unless people actually want me to talk about all of the news, hello and thank you for the follow. But yeah, in case people actually want me to talk about the news and stuff, I'm probably just going to jump straight into the building a super dungeon, and we might take breaks and stuff in and amongst that if it happens. So, for those of you who are new to this stream, for the most part what we do here is we build a super dungeon. Currently we are 5 rooms in. We have built 4 encounter rooms for a first level dungeon themed around shallow water. And we have done our first mid-boss room. I will actually open it up. But with this done, we can probably move on to other things. Or at least think we can have other things. Now, if we wind back our dungeon, this was our entryway way back. It was the first room we made. And for those of you who are once again new, we built it in such a way that our enemies could hide behind walls and platforms and pillars, and there could be some sneaking done. While I'm here, however, I'm just... Come on. I want to make some proper entryways both to the left and to the right. Come on. Hey Cat, how are ya? No, you're not. Okay, now you're working. Okay, here's what we'll do. I'll build out the first room because I'm already starting to get an idea in my head for it. And once we're done with that, we can start talking about Starfinder. How about that? Accept this compromise, awesome. Because you got me talking about role-playing games for like a full hour last week. I'm not complaining. I enjoy and love doing that, but still. You're just gonna be a mongrel, aren't you? Alright. Alright, new room. I wouldn't expect you to. No, that is the wrong way. Ooh. This was not actually the way I was in. Yeah, okay, we can work with this though. Yeah, no, this will work. Okay, so I did have an idea earlier, because we are dealing with shallow water. I'm stopping, because I want to see how... No, okay, cool. From what we were discussing earlier when it came to NPCs and their ability to use... Oh, okay. No, I can work that. Because what we were talking about earlier with NPCs and their ability to use things like shoves and trips to their advantage. I want to play with an idea. And just follow me on this one for a second, because something that's not really used too much within that I've noticed is that people don't like to use running water or rushing water for stuff. Actually, I had that on my mind last night because of Troubles in Otari. There's a character with an emphasis on shoves tries to get you into a river. Yes! Because when you're dealing with, early level encounters and stuff like that, there's... I kind of want to say temptation, but it's more that there's other ways to do damage to the players that aren't just damage. If that makes sense. Having to swim or having to climb out of an awkward spot is just as annoying for players. Now we can go back to this, take me to my drawing tool. Exactly. It also kind of forces players to think their situation a little bit better. That up. Just see, now what I want to do, and I want to see whether this will actually work. I think it is. Oh man, it is too. I was wondering if this would work. So, the idea here... We'll put another... So, the idea here is we're going to have some creatures that are in hiding. I'm probably going to place some stalactites and other things around for them to hide in. But the idea here is that our little critters are going to be trying to push the PCs into the river, which will then pull them into the waterfall. Now, in order to facilitate that, however, we need objects. Now, this is something that I picked up from playing Abomination Vaults, because what they tend to do in Abomination Vaults is you'll have ways that bring you to the lower level, but not the way you want. So there'll be crevices and gaps and things like that. I need you. Need you to be a different color. Perfect. We should blend it a little bit better. See, if I was better at Photoshop, what I would probably do is blend it into the water a little bit better. But unfortunately, I'm limited in my abilities. We'll turn off the snap, however. So I want that a little bit closer to the line. Just so I'm not having to do that over and over again, we're going to go so that will make my job a hell of a lot easier. So when I did it, like when my players went through it, they actually came around to the River Drake the other way. So they actually came down to it from the floor, and they found the secret passageway down to it. Just gonna combo that in a little bit. See, I knew that was an option, but my players never took it. How did they do with the ghost lights? Because one of the things that's been coming up an awful lot has been the, I personally didn't like the ghost lights or any of the wisp type things that they have throughout. Very much a personal preference, however. Nice. Nothing like a well-placed critical. Not actually too happy with that. I'm gonna grab... Oh, I like that much better, actually. Oh, okay. Yeah. There's a part of me that feels like, considering the difficulty of the Abomination Vaults, it feels like somewhat that it was intended to follow after. Like they say casually, yeah, no, you can follow this on from the beginner box, but I think it was a little bit more intentional than that. Because it doesn't start hitting until like the second or third level. But it gets to a point where you start running into a lot more, just severe encounters around random corners. Yeah. So you'll have a bunch of low-level encounters throughout a floor. And then all of a sudden, your players will just open a room, be all filled with confidence and vigor. They'll kick a door in, and then all of a sudden it's a severe encounter that's almost TPKing them. On the one hand, I can kind of dig it, but at the same point, it can feel a little bit jarring. I'm fiddling with those rain waterfalls way too much. And it continues to happen the further down you get as well. But I know that Nonat did a video ages ago about, a brief introduction to Abomination Vaults, and a part of that was he very much said, and I agree with him here, that you need to warn the players about the kind of things they're going to be fighting. Especially in the early sections. Floor 2 is almost done, and they're level 4. Yeah. So you're going to find they're going to be about a level or 2 ahead for a while. And honestly, I don't, having run it as far as I have, I don't think that's a bad thing. Object tool. I need stone? There we go. Yeah, I know not everyone likes him. I think he's a pretty cool guy. But no, a lot of his takes specifically with the Abomination Vaults is very true. I think the Magus is effective in it too, from the pure fact that magic bypasses a lot of the earlier resistances. And because it bypasses a lot of their resistances, it means that, particularly when they start fighting some of the more spectral enemies, because it bypasses those resistances, it makes their attacks a lot more viable. Like, sure, their longsword might not do any damage, but the actual magic on it will. I just want a standard one for there. Do this every week. Now, you may be asking yourself, why am I putting stones in the river? Well, I'm giving the player convenient things to grab onto. Quite simply. Because this is still a first level dungeon. Claudius is Shield Magus, Sniper Gunslinger, Paladin, Occult Witch, and Stone Oracle. Your Sniper Gunslinger might have a bad time until the lower levels. Sorry. Just this, yeah, if he didn't stop critting, yeah. I ran Troubles on Menace Under Atari, then Troubles around Atari. I did that one on stream, it's up on the YouTube and everything else like that. And Osiris was my sniper on that one, and yeah. The way a random critical here or there could just trivialize an encounter. I will say that does balance off eventually. Give out, creepy boys, some things to hide it behind. Or amongst. Now, we've already established that there's no natural light in these caverns, so players have to be walking around with their torches and stuff like that. Yeah, the gunslinger damage is especially swinging. I've had... What was it? I put him up against a skeleton giant. And he literally just one-shot it. But that crit damage on the sniper rifle in the first couple of levels, whew. Now, I don't particularly want to over-design this at all, because it's only supposed to be like a side room or something like that. Oh, I'm sorry, did you hear that? Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, that bloodworm almost TPK'd my party. Like, it really is a pretty hefty encounter. Don't really like the moss there. I would like this as is. Truly. What we might do, however... Don't know what's doing there with the shadow. Then we go back to our object tool. Yeah, especially if they're not familiar with how things can go in our sweet little system. I will say that's one of the things that I don't like about the Abomination Vaults. Let's be a little bit bigger. Abomination Vaults has a lot of unique creatures all the way through it. And because of that, it ups the default recall knowledge check for all of them. Which I get and I understand, especially when the players are trying to get a hold of like specific information about that unique creature. But if they just were trying to get a general overview, it feels a little bit difficult. Like unnecessarily difficult. Yeah, I don't want to overdo it, but I do want to put in a puddle or two. Water. Which, I can feel that I'd stealth nerf the rolls if you didn't have someone specialized in the check or a level lead. Honestly, I think just quietly, I think that's something GMs should do more often. Actually, we'll turn the lighting back on. No. Shadow off. There we go. Because particularly when you start dealing with haunts and everything else like that, I believe because you got some religion people, don't you? Yeah, Cold Witch and Storm Oracle and Paladin. So you've got religion handled. But in the past, I've had experiences where you'll encounter a haunt, and it's be like, the things that the players need to disable it are these two skills. And I'll look at the party composition and be like, these two skills do not exist within the party. This is literally impossible for them to sort. So instead of just having it as a hard block, just be like, yeah, no, you can try that check instead. It's going to be a little bit difficult. It's not more difficult. You don't have to make it more difficult. It's fine. Yeah, no, exactly. If it thematically makes sense to use another skill, just let the players have it. If your fun as a GM is diminished from the victories of your players, then I seriously think that you should be reconsidering stuff as a GM. Because we're all players, we're all in this for fun. And the only way for you to get your rocks off when GMing is to make your players suffer? I don't know, man. Give them danger. Give them concern. But if you're rubbing your hands together being like, I'm going to kill everyone in the party tonight, yes, then you're just kind of an asshole. Right? Give them a challenge, not a death trap. I say that, and I'm currently building a room that has a waterfall at the level below. I think this is good, though. Yeah, I'm liking the look of that. Alright. Save. Room 6. Waterfall room. Export as a PNG. I'd like to think so. Then Universal VTT as well. Because one of the other things I really want to do with this series is kind of just show people that you don't have to be like an amazing artist to do cartography. You don't have to be an amazing artist to create fun encounter rooms. Kat says, also a thing I've taken to House Ruling In, whenever someone recalls knowledge, I'll give either monster level or encounter threat level. This is something that I do as an option. So if I have the players do a recall knowledge roll and they succeed, they can pretty much ask one question, and I've informed my players that one of the questions you can ask is a level bracket. Like, is this creature our level? Is this creature lower than our level? Is it higher? And I feel like that's kind of important for players to know, so they don't accidentally start trying to incapacitate a creature that they super cannot. I give lore, level, and part of the stat block. Yeah, stat block is the most important thing. But I think that looks okay. I think one of the things that that they're going to be doing with the remaster that I'm really looking forward to is they're actually going to be clarifying a bunch of the stuff, particularly regarding recall knowledge. Because there's apparently on Reddit there is some discussions happening about recall knowledge that comes up from time to time. It'll make it more useful. It'll also make it a little bit easier for players to deal with. Now, look. This card really looks terrible. As soon as we drop our boy in, okay, so that didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to. Ah, I know what I did wrong. I haven't transitioned into darkness yet. Besides Twitter talks, I tend to not be in communities. I'm not great being social. Look, Reddit's kind of terrible. There's a reason Starstone exists. Because the Reddit talks can get very toxic very quickly. Okay, that kind of worked how I wanted it to, but configure want the background color to be that's maybe that's a bit better. I might have to go back in and fix that up a little. Yeah, right. Like I try to check on Reddit at least once or twice a week. I'm not going to today. Not at all. I'm like, Reddit can just do its own thing today. But yeah, I like to think I've got a smart, capable party. I gave them a 200 XP encounter and they crushed it. Yeah. It is always nice to see when your players really succeed. I think it's nice anyway. Now, with this encounter, as we kind of previously said, we kind of want our Grindylows in hiding because they're going to be pushing people into the water. I am aware of them. That the Major Domo, that was the worm that walks, I think. But we need our encounter builder. Can't make this a severe room. Oh, yeah, no, I remember that. I can't even remember how my party dealt with that one. I think our sorcerer just nuked it. I had the Morlocks release the shower, she started converting, go, oh, okay, yeah, no, that's how it became a challenging encounter. Okay, I have... Zeraplex is almost non-existent. I kind of want the Gridillos to actually be able to do something. Oh, nice! Say, one of the things I really love to see with Pathfinder 2, and I'm looking forward to it a lot with the Starfinder 2 stuff as well, is the just the team synergies that can happen in about a party. Like, as the party levels together, as they work together, they strategize, they figure out how to work together to do all these weird and interesting combinations. It happened a lot in my Agents of Edgewatch game, where it got to the point where the fighter and the rogue were working so well together, they started acing combats by themselves just from the pure expression of they knew how each other worked. and they picked up feats that would play off each other's strength. Now, our boys have a natural swim speed, so I'm not too worried about them. Now, I've made them weak. Oh god, it just carried it on. Those poor bastards. Where's my original? Or is they just all defaulted? Okay, they've all defaulted down. Now let's compare, because I need to know. Okay, something's gone wrong. Because what I'm trying to do is I want there to be a fair few of them in here. Although, maybe it's time to start switching up a little bit. Let's have a look at our Boggart Scout. Morningstar Tongue, Reach Tongue Grab. Let's have a look at Tongue Grab. The Boggart Scout hits a creature with its tongue. That creature becomes grabbed by the Boggart. Unlike with a normal grab, the creature isn't mobilized, but it can't move beyond the reach of the Boggart's tongue. The creature can sever the tongue, AC 13, and dealing at least 2 points. Armor class 16, that's pretty easy to get past. Swamp Stride, show me that one. You know what? Yeah, we're gonna mix it up a little bit. They have a bonus to their stealth and water. Oh, good cat. And this will kind of be our room. I might move him over to here just for evenness sake. But with the 2 Boggarts, this creates a moderate room. Speaking of. Let's rename this. Configure. Then this one. Severe. So we have one more moderate room we can do. But yeah, the idea here is that our party will be coming in, and like in all of the previous rooms, creatures are going to be stealthed, they're going to be in hiding. I expect players to be paranoid. Our Boggarts are going to be under the water. And if everything goes well, they won't see them until it's too late. But a action I do want to remind everyone of that I think gets lost in the sauce a lot is simply leap. You take a careful short jump. You can leap up to 10 feet horizontally if your speed is at least 15 feet, or up to 15 feet horizontally if your speed is at least 30 feet. You land in a space where your leap ends, meaning you can typically clear a 5-foot gap or a 10-foot gap if your speed is 30 feet or more. If you leap vertically, you can move up to 3 feet vertically and 5 feet horizontally onto an elevated surface. Jumping a greater distance requires using the athletic skill. So a leap like this requires no skill roll. So our boy here can easily just leap to the other side for one action. Doesn't require a run up, doesn't require an athletics check. They can just simply leap over. I was in it's PFS, not this week, the week before, and we were in an encounter room where it basically became the point of the floor is lava. Which conceptually I kind of liked. I thought it was quite amusing. But there were a bunch of there was a 5-foot gap and then there was a 10-foot gap. And I was playing a wizard and the GM was like, okay, I need you to roll for the 5-foot gap. And I didn't know about leap at the time. So I think I rolled twice for the athletics check, failed both times, and eventually was like, nah, I'm the wizard. I'm just gonna wait here and let the barbarian do his thing. And look, the barbarian got his moment, and it was very heroic and everything else like that. But that is when I found the leap action later on. Oh, while we're thinking about it, and we got this stuff open here, we can't use musk creeper, the yellow musk creepers or falls because we've already done them. Got the Hannovers. Rearrange possessions. The Hanover attempts to steal a small object off a target's person. If they succeed, they also rifle through and rearrange the contents of the target's pockets, pouches, and other containers. The next time the target attempts to draw a weapon or retrieve a worn item, doing so requires 2 interact actions instead of 1. The Hanover can steal an object that's closely guarded using this action without the -5 penalty, though not objects that would be extremely noticeable or time-consuming to remove. They can spend 2 actions instead of 1 to use this ability to steal from a creature in combat or otherwise on guard. This gives me an idea. I think I'm overusing stealth a little bit too much, though. Is we need a low encounter, so I need -1 creatures. Yeah, right. Well, that's that room done. New room. Swapping this over because I actually want to do something specific here. What's that? I want to do something specific? Oh my god. Oh no. Alright, Let's give us a big open room. Also, for everyone who's just kind of lurking in stream at the moment, thank you so much. And also, for all of you who are currently watching the VOD, also, thank you very much. The latest episode that I put up on YouTube for Let's Build a Superdungeon, the one that happened last week. Let's actually go back to this. Has been doing really great numbers. Or at least some of my content anyway. It's been really great to see that people actually seem to really enjoy this. Because I will be the first to admit, I was kind of worried. I didn't think people would actually enjoy this kind of content. I want that to be a little bit more narrow. Okay, so I want to make some alcoves. Some divity bits. That's looking good. It's, as much as I enjoy doing this, I didn't really expect other people to actually enjoy watching it, if that makes sense. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. There we go. I'm preferring it with the transparent background. So the idea here is that this is kind of a underground lake, like a mini one. And it's like an underground mini lake where the river from the earlier room can feed out from. And because it's such a narrow area, just to make that a little bit less angular. Because erosion is never even. Now, what I'm after beautiful. We want some reeds, but first lay down some bushes. Some reeds in. So I do have to ask the question that every person has to ask when they start dealing with reeds and stuff like that. Who, as a kid, used to grab like the reeds and pull them apart just to get the cotton out? Like, I feel like that was something of a universal experience. That's pretty good. See, now that I'm kind of looking at it, also, if you're doing maps like this, don't be afraid to see where the inspiration takes you, yeah? There we go. Yeah, no, I like that a lot better. Because now I can rearrange the reeds. Give me that object tool. Double checking and not doubling up on my work. How about we just look for leaf instead? I feel like leaf is good. These technically do not need to be centered, but that's fine. Alright, well I think that's done. Room 7. Feeling reedy. Don't really want to use up my Yeah, it's gonna be a low encounter. Save that. Export as. Export as PNG. Close that. And then we go back to Foundry. Also, sorry if you hear me yawning. I'm usually not this tired. Now, by the rules, for low level encounter, I can have up to 3 -1 creatures. So what we're going to have is we're going to have 3 of the Hanovers. Love return. Ramirez moving was handing over some extra boxes. Yeah, that's fair. Let's have our boy in this one. We'll go stealth these ones. So the idea here is that as the players kind of go through, it'll give the Hanovers the ability to try to use their ability to rearrange possessions. Before the players have a chance to know that they're there. No. Because although I'm kind of loath to have drawing a weapon as a 2-action activity, I find the idea interesting. More to the point, if you're dealing with something like a alchemist who has to draw their bombs and everything else to get them using, having something that just increases the amount of actions that they need to do that is a specific annoyance to certain classes that would make for an interesting challenge to overcome without just being straight up more damage. Let's just rearrange that a bit, shall we? There we go, to there. That is great. Creates danger, especially if done supporting a more dangerous monster. Yes! Because that's the thing we're going to be doing in the next room. Yep, that's looking good. Let's just rearrange that a bit. Cool, cool, cool. Because I like to introduce, if you're gonna have minions that are assisting a boss monster of some sort, I like to have I'd like to, if possible, to introduce those minions earlier on in the encounter, the adventure, the dungeon, the whatever. This means that players who have already fought them are familiar with what they're capable of and know what they can do. In this case, that would just kind of mess with their stuff to begin with. In the adventure notes that I'll eventually do up, particular for this encounter, I will have them have a retreat option. Like the party gets too aggressive, they start getting a little bit too damaged, they'll just run. These little alcoves at the bottom here lead into an underground water source, so that gives the Hannibers an easy way to run. Exactly! What do we have? Moderate, moderate, moderate. Low, 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 low. We have one more low, one more moderate. Not every monster needs to be violent. Some of the most fun encounters are talking. Yes! And as you get deeper into the Abomination Vaults, that is something you will encounter, Cat. Because there are a bunch of ghost and haunting encounters where they're much better if people just talk it out as opposed to just straight up attacking. Alright. Yep. I think, particularly with Abomination Vaults, at the very least, reading through the chapter ahead of time and getting a better idea of their motivations and everything else like that is a good move. And making them self-interested and less loyal to Belcora? Yes! In my playthrough of it, I've had most of the monsters barely even know who Belcora is anymore. Like, it's been generations upon generations, and they're just kind of living their lives. So Belcora coming in with her, shall we say, Karen-like energy is not really welcomed. What can I do with a low encounter? 2 zeros. Sorry, I'm just getting an idea of what to do for the next one. They befriended the River Drake? Yeah, my players captured it. Wrestled it, tied it up. Because they do be like that. You have a draconic speaker? Perfect. Oh. Yeah, alright. I think I know what I'm doing. I did work the PCs interested in RP with these are good languages for the adventure. Yeah. It's something they've started doing with the player's guides for the adventure pass, where they have a table and it's like these are the recommended languages. Or these are the languages the players are going to get the most use out of. And I do appreciate that. Especially as a GM. Excuse me. No! I think I'm getting faster at this. Shocking that. Now, Dan's gonna kill me for this. We're gonna have a nice open room. Yeah, that's also obvious enough. Oh, in case anyone's wondering or curious, the program I'm using to do all this is Dungeon Draft. Object. Yeah, I want to experiment more with Dungeon Alchemist. Because I've touched it a couple of times and tried to fiddle with it and couldn't get much out of it. But they've added a camera mode to it, so you can kind of get shots of the dungeon from different angles. And I think that would be really great for like scene setting shots before actually entering the dungeon. Like as you exit the forest, the temple complex comes into view, large and foreboding, and you can switch over to the scene that shows like the outside view of the entire thing. What do I need? Spice. Spit roast. So, what I'm doing here, if you get textures from more modern sci-fi stuff, it is possible to do it. Do we know if Dungeon Alchemist is going to be expanding their texture packs? Let's see. Plan to sell packs once it is complete, but they've made an option where you can upload a texture onto an object, so walls or floor. Okay. I feel like that's a fair compromise. Blast open, we want that. Blast for the Steam Workshop and community to make textures now, and they can sell packs later. Yeah. I think with what WotC is doing with whatever the fuck they're doing with their VTT, it's development on the map. making stream. They said nothing like that till it is complete. That's good. But one of the things I will say, if people are wanting to compete with whatever WotC produces for their VTT, I want a pathing tool. It's Palisade. Yeah, no, this is good. Sorry, I didn't complete that sentence then, did I? If VTTs want to compete and making software wants to compete, they need to have variability. Because we know WotC is going to create its walled garden, where you're going to have to get everything through the WotC, the Wizards of the Coast marketplace if you want to use it. And they're going to have their own texture packs, etc., etc. Like, we just kind of know that's going to happen. I think for most developers of VTTs and map makers, it is going to be about a healthy business, cultivate a loyal community, and supporting more various systems. Yes, absolutely. Even... might add something to kind of... I think map makers are going to succeed the most when they start widening their horizons. Because as much as a monopoly as D&D has on the industry as it stands, one, I don't think that's going to last forever. There's just too many people interested in getting in on it. There's too much competition, and I think if you've made too many bets on 5e, you're about to be very disappointed. Since looking, it seems like with WotC, they're going to just implode themselves like Activision Blizzard did. Yep. Not to be anarchist on main, but there's a very, there's a principle within free market capitalism called the line must go up. You must always be making profit, it must always be making money, and that profit must always be increasing. If it is not, then something is wrong and it needs to be corrected. Because of this, people and companies are not satisfied with just doing a good job. They're not satisfied with simply, I have made a good product, it's fine. They must always try to push, they must always try to monetize. And it's what we're starting to see with WotC now, with comments such as, I believe that the D&D brand is under-monetized. Exactly. Capitalism is not sustainable forever. And I believe certain people know that. But they also know that they can make a little bit of money before it runs out. I need a... So no. We want the players to know that this is going to be dangerous. Yeah, like I've broken up with 5e, but I might still grab some third-party stuff like Grim Hollow. Yeah. I have said for the longest time that the most exciting things to be coming out of 5e is from the third party. Yes. Jeez, YouTube, stop the music. I need a gate. That's what I need. I love Grim Hollow's transformation mechanics. I feel like complete the Warlock concept. I'll be the first to admit I haven't seen it yet. I haven't managed to have a look at Grim Hollow. I've been a little bit too busy with my own third-party products. None of this is kind of what I'm after. I don't know where they got Gate though. Do need... We'll go... wood. Giggity. That just kind of needs some worked. Totally fair. The big thing that caught me was making lycanthropy and vampirism viable. Mortals transforming into otherly creatures. Well, within Sinclair's Almanac, I did the curse archetypes, which kind of deal with that kind of thing. We didn't do vampirism though because Dark Archive pretty much did it in there. But the whole idea behind the cursed archetypes is that it is a consuming curse. It is slowly eating away at you. If you don't fight it, then it will overtake you. See, I like this, but I also think it needs something more. Where's the torches? I can't wait to get my hands on it. I've kind of wanted to try a homebrew in 2e of ascending to otherworldly creatures. It's a concept I've been fiddling with for a while. The battle form spells, for instance, is something I've been experimenting with a lot. A mortal who at high levels is just an Asmar or holy agent but becomes an angel. Yeah. It's something I've been wanting to experiment with a little bit more. Battle forms, etc. These aren't bad, but not quite what I'm after. A bit of a cooking pot and stove. We need to pretty this up somehow. Torches. Also, if you're familiar with Warcraft, I want to make an ethereal ancestry. I don't know why, but I found beings made of pure energy very interesting. I'm not particularly familiar with the ethereal ancestry from Warcraft. That particular idea, though, of having like an ancestry that's made out of pure energy, but is contained within something, is something I've screwed around with in the past. I was working on a setting years ago called, God, I don't even remember what it was called now. Althrun, I think? And they had creatures called Arkanites. And they were beings of pure magical energy that would animate pieces of stone to use as armor. I will actually look those up. Need something for this though. My brain keeps going rug. So we're gonna try it and see what it looks like. Back. There we go. Oh, welcome back, Rug. Because this is too much empty space. But I don't just want to add space for space's sake. Because I'm working on a concept. And we'll see if we have any tents. To sail, it's fine. Oh, this is looking better already. I also heard we're getting 2 playtests this year for new Pathfinding classes listening to Nonad's vid. Okay, so I'm gonna finish this room, and then if you want, we can talk about all that stuff. Like all the announcements from Gen Con. So much stuff. Do I want a rug? No, I know what I want. torch. You know what? We're just gonna... Done that one. Nah, it doesn't feel right. A one decoration, I know that. What? There we go. Put in a couple of rocks. No? Okay. Take out the snap. Oh, right. Oh, thank you. I was a little bit concerned about it. Now, what I want... Scuff's not gonna work. No, I didn't think so. I'm overthinking this. Terrain. I know what I want. What I really, really want. One more styles of that. No, no. Oh, well, that's gonna work. So go, that's... Yeah, theoretically, if it bounces out the way it should. Then we go back to our object tool. Hey, baby. I wanna know. zoom in. That's looking pretty good. All right. So, I think we're good. Now, here's the thing that's going to surprise you. This is a low encounter room. Trial by combat. Then we go export. Export. Go back to Foundry so we can have a look. Switch this to nighttime. There. Yeah, for as much work as I've actually put into this. Let's fix up the walls first. Move this down. Alright. Nope, we got one more fix left to do. Alright. So, the idea here is the players will come through and they'll notice that this is more of an encampment than they have been previously. It's more built up, the area is a little bit more advanced. Now, after they fought the boggards in the previous room, and the exploits of the party have been heard long and loud by everyone else in the dungeon by this point, our boggard warrior here is going to challenge them to a trial by combat. There'll be 4 party members, and one of the players will be, and it'll be a case of, give me your best warrior, and the 2 of them can duke it out. Because he's pretty hefty. First level's gonna be pretty, it'll be pretty difficult to begin with. But at their advantage, the spikes on the sides of the walls here will do, if people are pushed into them, will do an extra d6 damage. So this is definitely an encounter for someone who's a little bit more sizable, a little bit better. Otherwise they can, I will probably have in the adventure notes for this encounter room in particular, that the players can you can just have it so all the party fights them as one. But all that said, I will do most of those adventure notes off stream. So, do we want to talk about some of the announcements that they did at Gen Con? Is that something we want to do? Yes, alright. Like, I think that's looking good. If a little bit squished on the actual stream. Also, I'm putting this here so I have the marker for when I have to cut this later on. Yeah, like I enjoy talking TTRPGs as well. I think I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet and have another stream where I just talk TTRPGs. Because I want to do the Superdungeon, I want to go through encounter mechanics and stuff like that, but I do legitimately just love talking about TTRPGs. And I wanted to start doing like deep dives into, well, not deep dives, more like overviews of other systems so people can just be exposed to them. And I like having this conversation. I really do. All that said though, I will probably be putting this up on YouTube within the next 24 or 48 hours or something like that. But I've had fun. I hope you've had fun. We've almost finished with the first floor of our Superdungeon. I will probably doing the big boss room next time, and we're going to be experimenting with like instanced encounter rooms, which is going to be a lot of fun, or at least I enjoy. But yeah, I've enjoyed hanging with you, and for everyone who's lurking, I hope you have also enjoyed the conversation. For everyone who is watching the VOD later on, I super appreciate it. I was not expecting this series to do as well on YouTube as it has, but it has been doing really well. Otherwise, check me out on the socials. Also, the Patreon is back. I have no idea where I put a monkey at the end there. That's super weird. I'll have to look at that. But the Patreon is back up. I'm going to be putting a bunch of like blog posts and stuff on there for public. And there's going to be... I only have like a $3 and $5 tier at the moment, but that's mostly just for... like when the Superdungeon is finished and I have all the adventure notes and everything else like that, that will be what's behind the tier stuff. Otherwise, I hope you have a good day, a good night, a good week, no matter where you are in the world. Thanks, Nightbot. Love your work. But this has been Tabletop Explore presents Let's Build a Superdungeon and other TTRPG chats. Music has been by Marco Gelfi. And remember, as always, we are the storytellers. Also, we should find someone to raid. Shit. I am good at this. Who are we raiding, chat? You know what? Let's raid Waffles. I like Waffles. We're gonna raid Waffles. Alright. Hope you have a good day, a good night, a good week, no matter where you're in the world. And remember, as always, we are the storytellers. Good night, everyone. And tell Waffles I said hi.